Hello everyone, welcome to weekly SIG Autoscaling meeting for Monday 13th of January 2025. We have a couple of items on the agenda already. Marco, we have you this week. Do you want to take it away with VPA support for pod level resource?
Yeah, thanks. I think I opened an issue just for the topic. Seems like this was sometimes for Christmas. Yeah. So the new feature gate with 132 is released in alpha. So like we should find a way to handle this somehow in the VPA, right? When currently VPA deals with resources on container level. And already with there was already some discussion around that when we introduced support for global max allowed configurations, which are now configurable on pod level instead of container level. And now the question is like, what is happening or what should be happening if people enable that alpha feature gate and start specifying resources for their pods instead of for the containers. I guess currently, like VPA offers many configuration levels on container level, so this might be a bigger one, or it can be resolved in a simpler way by just quickly enabling it, like to get people even working with that feature. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess we need a cap for this, or at least even start off with a discussion to like get a common understanding of that stuff.
Quick question around caps and autoscaling. I know there's this idea of an autoscaling enhancement proposal in the autoscaling repo, and then there's also cap in the enhancement repo. What is our preference and which one should we use?
I think our approach to this point has generally been that we've used AEPs as effectively a lighter weight thing where it only affects a sub-project that's not part of the core APIs, etc. So I think in terms of other bits, like in terms of alignment on common terminology between like Carpenter and cluster autoscaler, where it's something that affects wider than one project, we've sort of moved that towards the wider KEP side of things. But yeah, if it's just going to affect VPAs at the moment, I don't see a reason not to go for autoscaling enhancement.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Almiko?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, bring up I don't know, like a comment about the enhancements and the AEPs and whatnot. Because I was looking into some of the dynamic resource allocation stuff recently because someone had pinged about it, about the cluster API support for like scale from 0 or something. And so when I was going back through, I was looking at the PRs and the issues that we had around dynamic resource allocation, and I was really surprised not to see like an AEP describing like how it would work in the cluster autoscaler. And so I know like as a community we're all kind of we're all under pressure and we're all, there's kind of limited resources to do all sorts of work, but I would love to see us kind of push ourselves to do more of that proposal work when we're bringing big features in. So, to the point that Adrian was bringing up, like I love to see more enhancements in that repo. I think it's an opportunity for us to document features in a way that might not make it into any sort of, product documentation or whatnot. And it in my experience, like it really helps users to have, even if it's like a developer writing an enhancement, that documentation can be valuable sometimes because you may never hear anything about it in like a product doc or whatever. So I realize this is mostly just me kind of talking about what I think we should do and how we can be better open source, stewards and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I think as a community, I think it's important to create this kind of documentation.
Yeah, agreed. I think we've all been in this situation in the past of looking back at why we've done things, and particularly as maintainers come and go, there's making it clearer why we've taken past decisions is definitely a better thing. Jack.
Yeah, great call out, Mike. I wanted to sort of plus one that and give some context how we could probably learn from this next time. What my observation was that the parent Kubernetes KEP was well underway and had there was a lot of really good sort of pressure and incentives to release the implementation of that KEP of the array for 132, and there just wasn't time for Cluster Autoscaler to sort of ship its own implementation day and date. And I feel like if the AEP part of the equation had been in line with the original KEP, we would have been, as a Cluster Autoscaler community or as an autoscaling community, in better shape to have that discussion, say back in the spring, summer, and try to use. So if you read the original KEP, it's clear that there is an autoscaler story that's sort of dependent on it. So if we'd used that leverage to kind of block progress and get the AEP baked as a sort of integral reference into that KEP, I think that would have been the way to do it. But if you sort of like if you're a downstream attribute of a particular KEP, if you don't get your proposal materials in during that KEP process, you can find yourself in a similar situation where everybody's waiting for you, so to speak. And so you might not feel like you have the luxury to do a proposal.
If I could just respond real quickly, because I think what Jack's saying is super important. Jack, you're totally right. Like, and the way caps move, like, if you're not there when the button gets pulled or whatever, it's like, yeah, you missed your opportunity, and it might have taken 6 months or a year to get to that point. So it's difficult to unwind it then. That's why I think it's important. Like, even if we make documentation in our own repo as an afterthought, it's like it's still valuable. But yeah, like your point is really well made there. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. I think that's definitely one for, I think, future discussion of how do we firm that up so that we're not getting potentially railroaded into we are the dependency at the end of the line with a hard deadline on us. Cool. Toka. For next week. Sorry, missed that. Okay, cool. That's all we currently had on the agenda. Is there anything else anyone wants to raise for this week?
Yes, I added an item about this KEP that I wrote last month. Oh, yeah. It's about configurable tolerances, those that are hard-coded to 10% for horizontal autoscaling. I'm not too sure how to make progress on this. Sorry to bother you, Guy. I understand you are.
No. Right. Let me have a quick look. I've got capacity this week. It might be towards the back half of the week, but I can have a look. I'll have a review of that this week. Yeah.
I'm from Belgium, so if you give me your email and your postal address, I will mail you a beer once this is done.
All right, I'll review it too.
Yeah, I think I can make time for a review as well on that one.
I got time right now.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Is there anything else anyone wants to raise this week?
Yep, I wanted to ask only if it's possible to cut a new VPA patch release, not a new minor release. I think Ray was working before the holiday season on cutting a new minor release, but meanwhile, Marco actually found out one issue with the eviction requirement controller added in VPA. And yeah, I was wondering, according to SOC status, Ray seemed to be out of office currently. I was wondering whether someone else can help, or do we wait in general for Ray to cut
I'm back.
the releases?
I'm back today. I'm super behind, but
Okay.
yeah, that's definitely the next like thing for me is just like digging myself out. I was just going to reply to a thread I think that you're on, Ismail. Regarding the patch versus new release, I'll kind of leave that up maybe to Marco if you have context. It's double the work because then we have to do 2 releases. If we could like ideally roll this into a new release, that would be better, but I understand that that will bring a bunch of other changes. So yeah, I think we can have a discussion about that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll take a look this week for sure. That we
Yeah.
need to get that cut ASAP.
Thanks. So yeah, patch release would be, yeah, I don't know how much effort it is. I only know that it's a manual work and there is no pipeline. Like there is no job that does the things automatically, but yeah, the semantically correct way I think would be also to have a new patch release if possible. But if that's too much work, yeah, we can also update to the new minor release.
Yeah, sounds good. I can take a look. I actually before the holidays I was working on this automatic building pipeline.
Yeah,
I did it in the add-on resizer repo, and I've got it mostly working. The build's broken, but it's for a different reason. So I'll try and port that over to VPA to make our lives easier. So yeah. Okay, I'll take a look. Thanks for the flag, Ismail.
Thank you, Ray.
Cool. Anything else anyone wants to raise? Nope. In that case, thanks very much, everyone. Have a good rest of the week and see you next week.
Thanks. Later.
Thanks, guy.